How's it going, everyone? It's been a while since I've made a video. I've been busy with some other things recently. But got 2 new shotguns recently, and we're back at the desk. Haven't made a video here in a long time. On the top, we've got the Mossberg 590 special purpose 12 gauge, and the bottom one we have the Remington 870 Express Tactical, also a 12 gauge. Got the Mossberg on December 16th, and I got the Remington today, which is December 20th. Got this at a gun show, and I had my FFL dealer order me the Mossberg. We're not going to get into price, but I just want to say the specific model, the 590, is a little bit more than your average Mossberg 500, and this was more than the Remington. Okay, the Remington was very reasonable. But anyway, you'll notice on the Mossberg, and this video is not going to get too in-depth. I'm going to do individual videos and reviews for each one, and we'll get real in-depth in each one, but this is just a general overview of my 2 shotguns. I've been wanting to get a shotgun for 2 years actually. Starting in 2012, I wanted to get a real good 12 gauge for home protection, home defense, and I was looking at the Mossbergs and the Remingtons, and I really couldn't make up my mind. And I was never really that big into shotguns for a long time until recently. So I was putting it off for 2 years, just trying to decide which one I want to get. And it came down to the Mossberg 590. If I could only have one, I would have the Mossberg, so I got that one. And I planned on down the road, picking up a Remington 870 sometime down the road. Really wasn't in a hurry for one, but I just happened to be at a gun show and the price was right, so I picked it up. Now I have both. So the Mossberg has a 20-inch barrel. The Remington has an 18-inch barrel. The tube on the Mossberg holds 8, and the tube on the Remington holds 6. These are both 3-inch chambers. These are not Magnum. Okay, these cannot fire Magnum loads. 2 3/4 inch. This can hold, like I said, 8 in the tube plus 1 in the chamber, so that'll be 9 total. And the Remington 6 with 1 in the chamber with a total of 7. For the Mossberg, it has an aluminum frame or receiver, and the Remington has a steel receiver. The Remington is slightly heavier. Honestly, it's really not that noticeable actually. This has a longer barrel, and the tube is a little bit longer, so it kinda, and it also has a heat shield. So honestly, I really can't tell, but apparently, the receiver itself is heavier. Now the Remington is a little bit shorter, so this would be good for a vehicle like my truck. I'm probably going to carry this in my truck and keep this one for home defense. That's my plans for now. I would like to get a stock set for this that's adjustable with a pistol grip. Now for the Remington, I'm going to leave this exactly how it is. Okay, I'm not going to put any fancy collapsible stock or pistol grip. I'm going to keep this exactly how it is. But the Mossberg, I would like to get a pistol grip with a collapsible stock. Alright, now for the 590 special purpose, it does have an M16 bayonet lug, which I'm really never going to use it, but that is a cool feature. The regular Mossberg 500 does not have that. Honestly, the 590 and the 500 are very, very similar. My dad has a 500 and I've compared it with it. It really looks pretty much identical to it. Honestly, I think the only difference is the bayonet lug, and this piece right here that screws on the end of the magazine tube is a little different. Other than that, it looks pretty much identical. On the Mossberg, the top of the receiver is drilled and tapped with screws, so if you wanted to put some kind of optics on it, you can. And just one front bead sight. Okay, there is no rear bead. These are self-defense shotguns, not really made for hunting, although you could use it for hunting. Remington, the bead on the front sight is actually a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to see. The Remington is not drilled and tapped on the receiver for a scope or any optics you want, so you would have to have that done by a gunsmith. And the controls are a little bit different on the Remington. The safety and fire is on the trigger guard, okay, and the pump release, whatever you want to call it, is a little bit farther forward on the Remington. Okay, both guns are clear. To me, it feels like the Remington has a little bit more of a smooth action. Just feels a little bit more smooth. Yeah, they're both nice though. The ejectors, you're not going to be able to see this, but the ejector is right here in the receiver on both guns. On the Remington, it is actually welded. You can see the two weld spots on the other side of the receiver. The ejector is welded in, so if it ever breaks, which is very rare, it's probably never going to happen, you would have to send it back to Remington to have it replaced. On the Mossberg, you're not going to be able to see this, but there's a flathead screw that's probably Loctited in there to hold the ejector in. So if the ejector broke, you just undo the screw, take it out, get a new ejector, pop it in, put the screw back in. Okay. Mossberg, you can see the safety is on the top of the receiver here, which I actually like better, and the pump release, action release, whatever, is farther back, so it's actually easier to use just with your thumb. Just a little bit more natural for the controls. Okay, there is no flap on the Mossberg, which a lot of you already know, but just in case you're new to this and you're just trying to get information, the lifter goes up with the bolt, okay, when it's closed. You can see when you open the action here, you can see that's the lever, the lift lever. On the Remington, this flap, it's always there. Right here. Something else, I mean, this doesn't really matter at all. If you look in here, you can see where you put your shells. This piece right here is orange. On the Mossberg, it's black. Now, I mean, that doesn't matter one bit. Just something else to know. Yeah, that's pretty much the main overview. Both of them have polymer trigger guards, which doesn't matter at all to me. Really shouldn't matter to anybody. I mean, you're not going to break it. The triggers are steel. Now, if you get the 590A1, it does not come with a heat shield. The barrel is a little bit thicker. I think you can have better sights on that one. And the trigger guard is cast metal. It's steel. You could update the sights on either one of these, you know, get ghost sights or whatever you call them. I'm probably just going to keep these the same, but like I said, the rear stock on the Mossberg, I would like to get a pistol grip with the collapsible stock. The finish, they're both matte finishes. The Mossberg is a little bit more black, and the Remington is a little bit more of a gray color on the receiver, but the barrel looks a little bit more black. Both nice guns, you know, both very comfortable. In my opinion, when it comes to the standard stock from the factory, I think the Remington, the stock, like when you're aiming it and holding it, just the way your wrist is, it just feels more comfortable than the Mossberg. And that's kind of one reason I would like to get a pistol grip on the Mossberg. Just feel like the angle my wrist is on this stock is not quite as comfortable as the Remington. They're both great guns though. I haven't shot either of them yet. Literally just got them both this week. Really happy with them. Yeah, for 2 years I've been, you know, thinking about it, not sure which one to get. And I was always kind of leaning towards the Mossberg just because I like the controls better. Oh, there's no flap, you know what I mean? The ejector, you can replace it if you have to, with, you know, yourself. You don't got to send it back to the factory. But you know, the aluminum receiver is not an issue for me whatsoever. Some people, actually probably very few people, would have something bad to say about that. I mean, this is like probably the same grade aluminum used on AR-15 receivers. You know what I mean? There's no problem having an aluminum receiver. You know, the Remington, this receiver could rust. You know what I mean? This receiver's not going to rust because it's aluminum. Yeah, that's pretty much the basic overview I want to give here. Like I said, I will make separate videos giving better close-ups and trying to go into more depth as I possibly could. I'll try to look up more information online and everything. And then I'll do a video, you know, of me shooting them, obviously. And there was something else I wanted to say and I lost it. Oh, the Mossberg. Two of these guns both have their reputations. In general, the Mossbergs have their reputation being used with our military, and the Remingtons have the reputation of being used with the police for many years. But both guns are being used in the military, and both guns are being used by police, but for some reason Mossbergs are more known for the military use and the Remingtons are more known for the police use. I think it was 1959 or something like that that the Remingtons came out, and I think the Mossbergs came out in the 60s. I could be wrong. I'll try to find that information out. You guys can go on YouTube and find more videos on them, but this is just, you know, my impressions. You can see the bolt looks a little bit different on the Remington. Really love these guns both. That's why I have them both. You know, can't really go wrong. I think the heat shield on the Mossberg looks really nice. It looks more military, you know what I mean? Now, they make this shotgun in a blued finish, and they make it in the parkerized finish like I have right here. In the past, one of the reasons I haven't got one of these is because every time I saw one of these at a gun show, and I never saw a 590 in any of my gun shops. So every time I see them at gun shows, they always had the blued finish, the shiny blued finish. And that's fine for like a hunting shotgun, but you know, for a home defense shotgun, or you know, something I'm going to be a little bit more rough with, I want the parkerized finish. Same with the Remington. I'm not going to be using these for hunting or really shooting clays, although, you know, I could if I just get the dowel rod so it only accepts like 3 rounds in the tube to be legal for the, you know, the state laws. But yeah, these are just, you know, self-defense, home defense, vehicle defense. That's why I bought these. But there they are. Let me know what you guys think. I think, you know, they're excellent shotguns. So I'll try to make more videos more, you know, consistently. I don't like it. I don't like having big gaps of time without making videos. But yeah, there they are. Looking forward to owning these. Leave any comments, and you guys have a nice day. Take care.